Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dice Cast. I am Russell Son, and with me I have.
Fishman.
Well, last we left off, Aquans and Jonas had decided that it was time to clean up some of the loose ends they had left in Vyrn's Run, including the remaining Strigoi, or
Yep.
vampire spawn, I suppose, from the Shadow Court vampire who had been in the town previously, which they defeated with ease. And then they decided to infiltrate the temple via the underground river, which they discovered in the underground chamber that beneath the former Platinum Dragon Inn.
Yep.
Not everything went according to their plan, however. Some deep sea ghoul like creature had followed them into Vyrn's Run and taken up residence in the sewer, which they saw last time. They were able to avoid an encounter with it, but that still remained for them to deal with.
Natural 20 on stealth does a lot for your ability to hide.
Yes. Additionally, the court introduced some new form of magical amulet that seemed to sense the presence of magic in a very small radius around them. The devices did not seem infallible, but however, they worked well enough that forced Occam's to dimension door out of the temple last time, which means they were only able to get in a certain distance. And this also meant they were unable to complete part of their plan, which is finding out what exactly the Lady Fortuna's magical artifact is, which seems to follow her everywhere.
Yes.
So we're not entirely sure what these new amulets are going to cause problems they'll pose for the party, but we will see as we go along. So we finished up last time around 7 in the evening inside the hut and preparing for a long rest. So that's where we're going to pick up.
Cool. I have some ideas
All right.
for the following day.
All right. And what are those?
Well, at some point in time, we're going to assault this place, the temple that is.
Yes,
And the only escape route they have is through that trap door.
that we know of.
Yeah, that we know of. I was thinking if we both prepare a glyph of warding,
Mhm.
we could, at some point in time, because they're permanent, go into that place, down in the tunnels, set up two glyphs, trigger them for whatever we decide we want to trigger them for. Obviously, not just some general soldier, because I'm sure there's some kind of patrols, though they are kind of running out of troops. That would be an interesting way of hopefully preventing an escape. Uh, so yeah, if we could both prepare glyph awarding, that would be nice. The other things, if we're gonna go back in there, I think we should keep sleep on our spell lists. And what else?
Well, the downside to Glyph of Warding is it takes an hour to cast.
Yeah, well, there's no point in me asking you to prepare your divination spells because they're always prepared.
Yep.
We should probably, before putting any plan into effect, um, check on what's going on there tomorrow morning.
Yes.
They're down to, by my reckoning, from what we've seen, roughly around 15 troops left. And they're
And
down.
4 sorcerers, including Fortuna and Bree.
Yeah, so we're getting down there.
Yes. Unfortunately, we're still not quite at odds where we can take them in a fair fight.
Why would we want to do that anyway? Fair fights are for chumps. I want to make sure as many of the variables are on our side as possible. So,
Well, the odds are still very much in their favor at the moment.
yes, we're going to continue our guerrilla tactics. I have a couple of ideas for that. One involves the Revenant, because,
We still haven't let it out yet.
yeah, I think that's not going to happen. I think it's going to happen.
All right.
The
We need
other
to find
thing,
out where it is first. We do not know where they're holding it captive.
true. Last time we heard it was in the jails, but it could have been moved. Who knows?
Yes. I
And the
doubt it's in their temple because I imagine they want that thing as far away from them as possible.
yeah, because it can cast spells. So I
Yes.
don't think anyone wants to be anywhere near it. The other thing I was thinking of using as kind of a incendiary device is if we could track down that ghoul,
Hmm.
ghast or whatever it's called,
Whatever that thing is.
something new.
Yeah,
I could polymorph it into something innocuous, and we could just chuck that in, and into their barracks and let it have some fun.
we could.
Yeah, so there are options,
Yes.
but all this relies upon some of your divination magic in the morning.
Yes.
So if you
So by
are,
sounds of it, I need locate creature prepared, which it is currently,
yeah,
but I need to leave it prepared.
yes. So the only thing that you need to change in your spell list is, if you don't mind, glyph of warding, as long as you don't see that being problematic. I think we'll be okay.
All right. Anything else before we turn in for a long rest? Because that will all be in the morning, obviously.
Um, Nothing comes to mind. I mean, we got tons of potions at the moment.
Yes.
Do you want to make any scrolls?
Hmm.
I've got 9 regular healing potions, 6 graders, and 2 superiors, so I think I'm good.
Yeah, potion wise, I'm fine. I could possibly prepare another scroll. See, the thing is, we're getting down to smaller numbers. We're getting down to the fact we're probably not looking at most maybe one more long rest. I think just looking towards the
Yeah.
future, we're probably not going to get more opportunities for this, and if we especially if we want to finish them off.
Well, I plan on kicking the hornet's nest, as it was euphemistically called today.
Yes.
Well, and once that happens, who knows what she's going to do? She's kind of a loose cannon, where we can't allow her to start rounding up citizens and forming a weird shield of living bodies in between her and us, and all kinds of stuff that person could probably come up with. So
Yes.
once we start hitting them,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to keep on hitting them.
All right. I'm going to scribe a scroll for this long rest because with all the new spells I'm going to be preparing, I had to unprepare Ice Storm.
Okay.
So I'm going to make a scroll of Ice Storm.
All right. I have a question. I have from quite some time ago a potion of vitality. If I remember correctly, that is something that gets rid of exhaustion.
Is this the potion of adrenaline or vitality? Because
Vitality. You
what's
remember
it
what
what's it written down as?
vitality?
There's such thing as an elixir of health. So I know I gave you a potion that did that. I can't remember exactly what I called it. Is the problem.
Well, I have it written down as a potion of vitality.
I'm just going to double check that that isn't actually a thing
Is
that
it a thing?
have its. All right, something potion of vitality did come up. Oh, here we go. It removes any exhaustion you are suffering and cures any disease or poison affecting you. And for the next 24 hours, you regain the maximum number of hit points for any hit dice you spend. All right, but that part doesn't work based on our new healing rules.
That's fine.
Yes, so
I was just
cures
thinking
exhaustion, poison, and disease.
what I was thinking of because of probably going to be rather hectic day and a half.
Yeah.
That we probably at most are going to get a short rest, and exhaustion is a possibility.
Yes.
So
I will
we,
say the potion I only have one dose of it, which means it cures one person of it.
yeah, we both have really good constitutions. It'd be
Yes.
really bad luck if we both come down with that.
All right, so I have no portents left from the previous day for this roll.
All right.
So I need to beat a 14. I roll a natural 19 before I add my +5. So I have a scroll of Ice Storm.
Excellent. Could always come in handy.
All right. So I'll be working on that over my portion of the long rest.
Yep.
All right. So by sounds of it, we're going to be turning in then.
Yes. Well, I'll take first watch because you'll be working. Oh, sorry. You'll take first watch because you'll work on the scroll. That doesn't matter.
Sure.
Doesn't matter.
So perception with advantage because of familiar.
Yes.
Oh boy. Well, advantage avoids a natural 1, but that's a natural 5.
You are distracted for sure.
Yeah, which brings up to 12.
So hopefully no one attacks us.
All right. Does anything happen in the night? That's a natural 20.
Oh, so something's happening.
Well, the good news is we're deep enough that the court's forces from the surface can't really see us, even with a natural 20. Natural 20s don't guarantee everything working, but something is going to happen.
All right. While I'm having a nap.
Yep. So you are woken by, well, a really large underwater ghast-like creature coming right up to the edge of the dome and prodding it.
Well, that thing, from what I gathered from last time, was rather had a sort of a psychic presence, sort of had a psychic feel for what's going around it.
Hmm.
Is it actually doing anything to the dome?
Well, here's the thing. I don't think there's anything it can do.
No, it doesn't know.
However, here's a question I need to ask you about the dome. If this, I assume this works similarly as the actual tiny hut spell, which means like noxious toxins can't penetrate its membrane.
No, it's
Because as we
interior
found out
environment.
last time, this creature had an ability, a stench ability similar to the gas. It just seemed to travel further underwater.
It's the environment inside the hut is perfectly safe and fine for us.
Yeah. All right then, so we don't have to worry about the stench.
No.
All right, I'm gonna see how long it stays here. Well, as quickly as it gains interest in the hut, it loses interest. And we see it swimming back up towards the surface, though.
Yeah, the problem with that thing is,
We don't know what it is, technically.
yeah, technically, and also if it is any form, well, considering the number of sorry, of dead people that it ate,
Yes.
it probably has some form of insatiable appetite.
Well, we had a chance to observe it up close, like really up close. So I think I'll let us roll another check to see if we can determine some more about it.
Anna?
This would probably be Arcana.
Well, that's a 16 to start plus a whole pile of pluses, so somewhere in the 20s. You get +4 and then another +4, so
Yeah. And I
28,
have a 19.
24.
Yeah. So a 19 and a 24. All right. Well, with those numbers, we can definitely determine we've never encountered a creature like this before. We've encountered similar creatures. On the Isle of Fog, we did encounter ghasts,
Yep.
which had some similar qualities as this thing. They were undead, they had a stench, and they had an insatiable little hunger for carrion and flesh.
Yep.
Now, this thing is much bigger than
Oh,
any ghast we've ever seen. It's large in size.
yep.
It's adapted quite well to being underwater, which is not something we have. We've only seen one other type of undead adapted to being underwater before,
Oh,
and
really?
those would be the drowned dead we encountered before.
Oh, those guys, yes.
And from that, we can probably assume it has qualities similar to a ghast, which is its stench ability. Its powerful claws probably have some sort of paralytic effect like ghasts and ghouls do. It's undead in nature, so poison of all manner is going to be useless against this thing.
Yep.
As for its seeming almost psychic ability, we suspect it's got a limited range on that. We didn't feel any intrusion like telepathy or anything like that. So it's possibly it's got some sort of psychically inclined blind sight, you might think, which might be how it detected the hut. It just detected something that was unusual and came to investigate.
Yeah.
And based on that, yes, this thing is definitely most likely going to be a danger to Vyrn's run because
Well, yeah.
wolves and ghasts are perfectly willing to create carrion for them to eat,
Yes.
and they're never satiated. It's part of their curse.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they ate 60 plus,
Yeah.
you know, people on that boat and look for more food. So yeah.
Well, it's heading towards the surface, and Vyrn's run, at least in that direction. But then again, the sewers it's been hiding in is in that direction too, so we don't know. It might have been coming back from getting a late night snack for all we know.
Yeah.
Unless you want to dismiss the hut and chase after it.
Uh, no, this is going to be our last chance for a long rest.
All right.
Unfortunately, that does mean possibly a couple people or might die.
Well, with any luck, it'll be someone from the court.
Yeah, there's always that possibility. But the thing is, if we're going to have a chance at succeeding here,
Yeah.
well, I mean, I burned through 6, 8,
Yes, we need a rest.
burnt through 8 spell slots.
Yes.
So yeah,
We're both about half spent on spells, so we need to rest. We need
yes,
to take this opportunity. I will say there is one other uh, option to if the court encounters this thing as they may destroy it, which might preclude you weaponizing it later.
that would be both fortunate and unfortunate. I have a couple of interesting ideas involving this thing, but then again, I don't really want innocent citizens to get chewed on.
Yeah. Well, from that, I'm pretty sure we're our inclination is to go back to rest and get our long rest. So,
Yep.
so you go back to sleep for a couple more hours, and then I wake you for your watch.
Yep.
At which point my scroll is complete.
My perception for the watch is actually not very good either, but um 12, no, 13.
13. All right. You don't see it come back, so or anything else really during your watch. It goes by uneventfully.
Okay.
Okay, because we were attaching a scroll to this long rest, it's probably going to be longer than our normal long rest, which means we probably are almost going to be pushing it close to the full 12-hour limit for the spell.
Okay.
Which means, actually, yeah, I think it's going to come close to that. So when we wake up, the hut vanishes. So we're underwater now.
Okay. Well,
However, we get to recover any. You get to recover your hit points as you normally would.
I was on watch, so I know I didn't have to wake up, and I'll wake you up just
Yeah.
before
All
actual.
right. So did you take any damage from the last session?
No.
All right, I did. So I took 3 points of damage at some point. So I'm going to heal back up to full.
Yep.
We get our spell slots back. I get
Yep.
2 new portents. You get all your luck. And prepare whatever spells you want.
Well, the only change I want to make is uh, putting on the glyph of warding.
All right.
Now, do you think the sleep spells are going to be useful? That's the only other question.
Possibly they allowed us to get in there last time. On the other hand, they have to take something off for that glyph.
Yeah, if you're going to take off sleep, let me know because first off, sleep has never worked for me except
It
that new recruit doesn't count.
it worked in conjunction with my sleep spell.
Yeah,
So,
well, I managed to put a basic peasant to sleep. That's just sad.
do you want to unprepare sleep?
Well, no, it's up to you. If we team it, it
Yeah.
has a chance. If you're going to take it off, then
I do like having sleep prepared, so I'm probably gonna leave it on.
yeah, okay, that's fine then.
Yeah, which means I need to locate creature for your plan to work.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I probably don't need locate creature and locate object.
Um, well, locate object might come in handy because she has a very unique item that we've seen that's always
True.
there.
I've
Yeah,
also seen her.
yeah.
So, so here's the thing. I may be able to prepare 17 spells a day. That doesn't mean I can prepare everything.
It's four more than me.
I know. I have to prepare this glyph.
Yeah, there's a bunch of spells I'd like to prepare.
Yep. I mean, some of these are just ones I need if we get into combat. Like magic missile, shield, counterspell, and frost breath. I'm not taking those off.
No,
I need a lot of my divination spells for a lot of the stuff we're doing, Jose, and they play into me regaining my lower level spell slots as well. So I want to keep them around. I mean, realistically, what I should do is unprepare one of my two fifth level spells and only take one in
yeah,
because I can only cast one a day.
yeah. I'm not doing that. I
On the other hand, having both Conjure Elemental and Scrying prepared is quite handy.
yeah. No, I understand.
Yeah.
Digby's hand.
Disguise Self, in all honesty, is really taking up a lot of space on my spell list.
Sorry, what is it?
Disguise Self,
Oh, yeah. Well,
but we need it.
that unfortunately has to stay on.
Yeah. Well, we need to be disguised or invisible, one or the other.
Yeah, but we also got to blame this all on Zorik. So,
Yeah. Well. Okay. Yeah.
if you're keeping sleep, then I'll keep sleep as well.
Yeah. I think it might come in handy.
Wait,
Well, here's a bit of a risk. I'm going to unprepare see invisibility, which might come in handy because sorcerers, they might be able to turn invisible.
yeah,
However, we haven't seen any of them do that yet.
true. Of course, we haven't given any of them a chance.
No. However, it's the only spell. It's basically the least useful spell I prepared at the moment. Is in my thought process.
Yeah.
So I'll unprepare that and prepare the glyph.
Okay.
Also, before we do this, check that you have the material components. We don't want a repeat of the Dawn spell.
If I remember correctly,
I have 3 doses of it.
and I think that's all we have.
You don't have any on yours? Character
No,
sheet?
I'm pretty sure I don't because I was
Alright.
using yours last time.
Then we can prepare, and we can cast the spell up to 3 times because that's how many I have. 200 gold pieces value of diamond dust and incense, which is the material component for that spell. And I get 2 new portents.
Yep. So,
Natural 20.
ooh,
Added
good.
18.
Well, nothing's getting by you today.
That's good. We might be fighting a creature that can paralyze us.
Yeah, that's always a bad thing.
All right. Are you finished with your spell preparation too?
I just had the one change.
All right. So once that's all done, the hut is gone.
Yes.
So we are once again in the water.
Cold,
And sorry?
cold spring water.
Yeah, it's cold. Not that I mind.
Hmm.
And foul smelling and tasting water is the other thing.
Oh, yeah.
This ghast may have only been here about a day so far, but it is already polluting the river with its uh, presence.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Head to shore.
All right. So we heading towards shore. Which bank are we heading towards? Are we heading towards the harbor, the north bank, or the south bank?
All right. My current thought process is to go into the river that goes underneath the town
Mhm.
where we were originally fought with Vapula. And from there, I think we're going to need to do some scrying to figure some stuff out.
All right, so you want to start heading underwater then.
Yes. I want us to head to here.
That's not, you want us to head right to there.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's a bit far, I guess. Sorry. Initially, or I want us to go here.
All right. So that means we have to go in under the water again. Okay.
Yep.
Well, then we're going to be repeating what we started with yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, not started with, but you know what I mean.
You need a strength check to get out of this river.
All right, so we head towards there.
Yep.
As we head by, I want you to make a perception check. That's a natural one, so I don't notice anything.
7.
7. There's a bit of commotion in the inside Vyrn's Run.
Bit of commotion in Vyrn's Run.
Yep.
That could be important.
Could
You need
be.
to get out of the water.
Sorry?
You need to get out of the water so you can cast clairvoyance or
Scrying.
scry.
Do you want us to head in here and do it?
Yes.
Okay. So you want us to proceed with the plan, but you want to hurry now.
Yes. And
Okay.
we get out of the water.
All right. So we use the current to get into here relatively quickly because we're going to be swimming with it, which is easy.
Yeah.
Now we need to get out of the water.
Yeah. I roll a 10. I think that's the DC if I remember correctly.
All right. So and I roll a 3. So you climb out on the, I assume you're going to go with the southern bank.
This side, yeah.
Yeah. It leads into where the temple is. And after you get it, climb out, which is a bit of a struggle because you got exactly on the DC.
Yeah.
You notice I'm not with you.
I'm going to cast light on my staff so I can see where you are.
All right. I have just, with the current and my inability to get out, I've just passed the bridge.
Okay. I'm going to run to keep up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pull out at the same time my magic rope.
All right.
And I'm going to throw it to you.
All right.
Commanding it to wrap around you.
All right. So you're going to throw that.
That's with 10s. But I have a dexterity modifier at least 12 to hit you.
It's not a difficult DC because it's a magic rope.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that's going to give me advantage on this to pull myself out.
All right. And not pull me in.
And that's a natural 20.
Whoa! Good job.
Yeah. All right. So, brief amount of excitement with us trying to get out of this river again.
Yeah.
This river has not been our friend.
Well, we haven't drowned in it yet.
Well, we both estimated I probably had at least one more opportunity to get out of here before the river pushed me further down than we've seen in this place.
Yeah.
So
then you'd be using spells to get out of there.
Yeah, I could also just Misty Step.
Yeah.
However, we managed to avoid any of that, so now I'm unsure.
All right.
All right.
We need to find out what's going on up above.
All right, then. So you want me to cast either clairvoyance or scrying, I assume. Both of which have a 10-minute casting time. So that is going to be a factor no matter what I do.
Yeah.
I guess it really matters is what do you want me to scry for? Is it going to be scrying or clairvoyance? Because clairvoyance, I can just pick a point in space. And it's a 3rd level spell slot instead of my 5th for the day.
Problem is, we don't know what the commotion's about.
No. If this is something to do with the court, it might be something to do in their temple.
Yes. Or it could be, even if it is something to do with them.
Yeah.
It could be something that they're going to take into the underground section.
Yes. Scrying will move with whoever I scry on. So, for example, if I scry on Bree, who has basically been our target so far, I can do so, and the sensor will follow her around for the spell's duration.
All right, do that.
All right.
Because the other option is to go down that passageway and go into the temple itself.
Yes. So, uh, first spell of the day is going to be my 5th level scrying spell. As I get out my, I think we finally decided on the fact it was going to be one of those Palantir style crystal balls just to make you happy. All right, so I'm going to take that out, take out my spell book, and I'm going to sit down and meditate and cast the spell. That's going to take 10 minutes. So you're going to be keeping watch, obviously.
Yes. I will send my familiar, which is still a raven, unfortunately.
Yep, you could probably change that back at this point.
I'll have it hop up the corridor there,
All
closer
right, so
to.
you want to go down and check on the trap door.
Yep.
While I am casting this spell. All right.
While you're casting it, while my raven's sitting there,
Yes.
I'm going to be paying attention to the what's going on the opposite side of the door, because I assume at some point in time they actually do open up this door and see what's going on down below. Yeah, I'm gonna see if that happens in the 10 minutes while you're doing that.
Yeah. All right. Scrying. It's been a little while since I cast the spell, so let's. So I'm very familiar with. I know it pretty well. So she has a -5 on this saving throw, and she has no wisdom modifier or saving throw bonuses at all.
Oh, good God, she has to roll a natural 20.
Actually, no, that's not true. Sorry. She has the Luck Stone. I forgot, which gives her a +1 saving throws. All saving
She
throws.
has to roll a natural 20.
Yeah. So my DC is effectively 23
Yeah.
for this spell for her. All right. She rolled a 17 natural, so
Yep.
18 -5 is 13.
Yep.
So the spell will work. Yeah, unless we want to get like a lock of her hair or something. This is gonna be which will give her a -10 penalty on this spell. That's about as slow it's gonna be. All
Hey,
right.
23 DC is high enough.
Yeah. So while I'm doing that, which will take 10 minutes, you're sending your familiar.
Yeah. Did any interest in the trap door happen while you were doing all that?
All right. Roll a perception check and remind me, do ravens have dark vision?
No, I don't think so.
I will check. But again, cats don't have dark vision according to this.
No, they do now, you said,
Oh
right?
yeah, they did. The Wizards Coast finally got around to that after 10 years.
Also, I don't get a +3 for perception checks either.
No. No, you do. They have a +3 perception.
Oh, all right.
Ravens do not have dark vision, but there is ambient light, so there's dim light coming through the crack in the trapdoor.
Only listening anyway. Want to hear if
Yeah.
anything's going on. If they open up the trap door, it's going to be really obvious.
So you're only listening.
Well,
However, you no longer have your keen sense of hearing and sound, so it was a straight roll.
yeah, 11.
11. All right. Well, if you're just looking at the door and then listening,
Yeah.
uh, you hear some sounds on the other side,
Mhm.
some muttering in common. You don't really make out the words with that roll.
Yep.
You hear occasionally someone taking a drink, possibly. You may occasionally hear a dice roll, so it sounds like there's at least a couple guards on the other side performing their duties, the same as last time we were here.
So during the 10 minutes, no one bothers to open up this door.
No.
All right.
All right, which means at that point the spell finishes.
All right.
At which point I alert you to the fact that the spell is done.
All right. I leave
Looking
it
into the crystal
there,
ball.
and she's going to let me know if that trap door opens.
Yes, all right. So your familiar is going to alert you via your magical link
Yep.
if if the trap door is opened. Okay. So I look into my crystal ball with my scrying spell.
Yay!
Yep. So, which means I'm going to have to describe what I see because, again, unlike with the scrying pool at the Academy in Lyria, I'm the only one who can see through this spell.
Yep.
All right.
You can't hear, right?
No, scrying is seeing and hearing.
Hmm.
It's
Good.
clairvoyance that you have to pick between. Scrying's the stronger version. That's why it's a 5th level spell.
Yeah. Okay.
So we picked the good version if you want to, gather as much knowledge as possible about what's going on. We picked the bad
Yes.
version if you want to consider the fact that it's my fifth level spell for the day. So I'm not
Oh
summoning any
well.
elementals.
That's okay. It's necessary. We need to gather some information.
All right. So I inform you that Bree,
Yep.
the and the remaining two wild magic sorcerers
Yep.
are standing in the courtyard with Fortuna,
Hmm.
and near as we can tell, the majority of her remaining guards, foot soldiers and commanders.
Oh,
There's a dozen people, a dozen guards up there with them, and they
very
appear to be
good.
organizing the people of Vyrn's Run into
Yep.
basically like a group, and basically this is almost like they look like a captive audience, I say.
All right. There's a nuke chance right there.
Well, unless you have some way of getting up there really quickly and throwing in the bomb, which is currently in my bag of holding.
We do,
Yes.
but let's just see what's going on here.
Yeah. All right. Let me see.
Not that reckless.
All right. Fortuna speaks up and says, "Get them all in line." She says, "Keep them." And it says, "And keep them quiet and respectful. They are about to be greeted. They are about to greet their." she says, and she says this next line with a wry, almost sarcasm. She says, "Lord and Master."
Okay.
Yeah, that's high enough for insight check. It says, "Well, she doesn't think highly of whoever that is, and it's not her."
Yeah. We know she thinks a lot of herself.
Yeah. Bree looks nervous, I say, because the sensor basically just is like behind is always around Bree somewhere, and I can just pan around and look. So I can give you that as well from that insight check.
Yeah, we read her like a book.
Yeah. All right. A few more moments go by, so about a minute of the spell has elapsed by this point.
All right.
The spell lasts about 10 minutes. Last 10 minutes. So there's I said, and suddenly there's a flash of light actually from the crystal ball itself, which
Wow.
you actually can see, which is how bright it is.
Wow.
Okay, that is someone's showing off. I say, well, there's a blinding flash of light, a clap of thunder, and now standing in the center of the square of the temple
Yep.
are 9 individuals. I said, I think that's a natural 20. That's a third natural 20.
Stop wasting them.
I know. That was a teleport spell.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's high enough. So there's high level sorcerers on the court that can do that.
Yeah, that's a bit above what we can do.
All right. I say, all right. They looks like there's another 6 of them are soldiers of the court. One
Yep.
of those 6 seems to be a commander. So they seem to be bringing in an extra squad.
Yep.
There's 2 sorcerers, but I'm going to see if I can roll a perception check for
Can you tell which branch? Because
not
they're
with that roll.
oh well.
That was a 12,
Taste.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
And there is an older humanoid man,
Yeah.
uh, well built, robed in all in white, and he has I'm gonna roll for this as well. He's got some sort of uh magical object which seems to just be floating behind his head, almost like a halo.
That's ostentatious.
Yeah. I don't I think it looks like it might be. I've seen. Yeah, that would be enough for that history check. Yeah, I think it's meant to be an image of a sun disk. I think it's what it looks like.
Hmm. Okay. Do I know what that might be?
You can roll a history check.
All right. Nope.
What'd you roll?
I don't have history.
So it's just adding your intelligence.
9.
You've heard of a sun disk being used in worship of some religions that worship sun gods. That's it.
Right.
That's as best as you can make out from that.
Just from what I know of the court, I
Yeah.
don't think it's that.
Yeah. Well, I said it seems to be stayed quite close to him, quite similar to how Fortuna's wheel-like artifact, which is there, it seems to stay
Yeah.
by her.
All right.
So I
So
think this is another one of the ruling seven. And by the
yeah,
sounds of it, possibly a very high-ranking one.
well, high enough to cast teleportation.
Yes, and also one that Fortuna is, I say. Yeah, based on what Fortuna's words is, probably doesn't have a high opinion of him, which means I think he's over her.
He doesn't
Uh,
have an opinion of anybody.
all right. So after that initial surprise has died down, she greets this individual, says, "My Lord Radial."
A name I've heard before.
I do not believe so. I don't think either of us have heard this name said.
Okay.
It says, "Welcome to Vyrn's Run." She says, it says, "Your worshippers greet you." She says, gesturing to the basically captive audience.
Yeah.
Roll to see. She rolls a natural 20 on her persuade on her check. There.
Yep.
They and the people really do get into the whole bowing to this guy, which might also come into a little bit of self-preservation on their part.
Yeah. Okay.
She says, "Your says as I communicated to you before." She says, "Your presence, while welcome, is unnecessary."
Oh, we should be up there. That'd be so much fun.
Well, I am down here until the spell finishes. You can do what you want.
I'm not going there by myself. Good God.
Uh, he smirks at that comment. I'm going to see how well he's. Oh, that's pretty good. He's maintaining his composure, but there's a little bit of a smirk, I say.
All right.
He probably has. It says, well, it says, you've said, you have suffered heavy losses to your forces. It says, since you came here to occupy this small, out of the way farming community.
Yeah.
He says, High Mead, you reported that you were able to easily crush their pitiful army, military. They were whatever passed for it in these parts. He says, so far from civilization. He says, and yet you report, says, looking around, says that you have lost so many, says, of our troops, says, and our brothers and sisters. His frustration's coming through now, you can tell, as I say.
Yeah.
And she's trying to look meek and servile at this point.
Oh, well.
I think, and I'm pretty sure it's feigned.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Says, and as such, says, we have the court as a whole has graciously decided, says to gestures to the 8 with him, people who came with him, some as much reinforcement as we can spare to help you finalize the occupation. Says, we also have he points to a chest that one of the sorcerers is holding, says a small container, says, we've also put together some supplies that will assist you in that matter. He says, he says,
Memorize what that chest looks like. I say to you.
all right, I'm going to roll an intelligence check to attempt to memorize what that chest looks like. That's a total of 20. I think that's pretty good.
All right.
Right? So it looks relatively standard, like traveling chest, but okay. I think I have a good idea about it.
Yeah.
It says, he turns and looks over at Bree, who
It's peeing her pants at this point.
very much has the look of someone who's been called to the principal's office
Yeah.
and is trying to stand to attention and look. So this is the young one you mentioned. Says one of our own with so much talent, yet not quite fully inducted into our ranks yet. And and yet I says, tell me, child, do you serve the court faithfully?
What did she say?
I'm going to roll to see what Bree's response. Um, she gives her voice cracks a little bit,
Yeah.
nervousness, but she does affirm that she is indeed loyal to the court and the cause of protecting the sorcerers everywhere.
Interesting. Insight check that.
Insight check. That's very high. I don't think she's lying.
Great. We've
I also,
lost her.
huh?
We've lost her.
There was also, I say, this Radial looked at one of the other sorcerers, like just the side eye,
Yeah.
and there was a faint nod.
Oh. They brought some aberrant minds with them.
Or at least someone who can read, who I suspect has detect thoughts cast.
Yeah. Interesting.
That is exactly what he says. Interesting. Says one so loyal, says one so young and so new to our ranks, and yet he turns back to Fortuna, says, you yourself had the audacity, says, to possibly shift blame for the failure of your own operation onto her in your report.
Oh, that's gonna sting.
Fortuna manages to maintain her composure relatively well. And I mean, that I rolled a reaction for Bree.
Yeah.
It's a natural one.
Yeah.
That is perfect. Bree's face is like, in some ways, from Bree's point of view, a lot of the people that she has befriended in the course of her life since leaving the plateau and adventuring
Yeah.
has probably seemed like one long stream of people using and betraying her.
And this
And
is
I think this is just the latest in a long line, but it shocks her still.
yeah.
Fortuna speaks out, says, well, says, everything was going perfectly fine until this one's little test of loyalty. Says, which she reported that she handled herself well enough. Says, my second in command never came back from that, as did no one else. She merely teleported back into our temple. Says, she could make up any excuse she wanted. He says, she's about to go on again, and Bree looks like she's about to speak up her defense, and Rodal just raises his hand to silence them all. You can tell this is someone who is used to being obeyed.
Yeah.
That he can dismiss them all with just a wave of his hand like that. He says, very well. Then, despite, it says, the fact that I know that this young one speaks no lie or deception in my presence, says, and that she has, by her own word, vowed loyalty to us. I will depart with her, and I will take her back to the seat of the Seven in Ulrix, where she will be, where her loyalty will be tested beyond a doubt, and her honesty as well. We will get to the bottom of this, and should she indeed prove as you should she indeed prove as you suspect, be disloyal to us, she will be duly punished. If not, well, then one of her talents will be put to very good use by the court. After all, The wild magic branch is hardly what it once was. Says, he says, and I would do well, Fortuna. Says, do not forget, the grace that has been granted to you was done so out of my will. Says, I can just as simply take it from you and give it to another.
A lovely dressing down.
Yeah. She can't quite conceal the shock on her face from that as well.
Yeah.
Says, well, I've wasted enough time here. Says, I trust your next report will be one of in favor of the court gaining stability and peace in this region. Says, if not, he says, well, then I can only say you will not be given a warm homecoming upon your return to Ulrich's. He turns to Grace, says, come, little one. Says, I have no doubt of your loyalties. However, let us put all non-believers' doubts to rest, shall we? There's a bit of hesitation on Bree's part based on what's being asked here.
Yep.
Nevertheless, she goes over to him, takes her hand, and there's another blinding flash of light and a sound of thunder, and they're gone.
All right.
At which point, my scrying spell ends and my crystal ball goes dark. So, okay, that's interesting.
It got dispelled? Oh, no, wait a minute. You're targeting her.
I was targeting Bree. The scrying sensor should follow her as long as she's on this plane of existence. Admittedly, I don't know exactly how the spells coincide because we don't know how to teleport. Something disrupted my scrying spell.
Well, I assume that Ulrich has some protection.
Yeah. Well, that's the end of that. I say.
Well, that's really bad news.
Yes. Can I just get a perception check on both our parts?
Oh, 21.
14. There's the sound of an explosion. And a bit of dust comes down from the ceiling.
Explosion?
Yep. It was kind of deadened by the sound, but
Do I have any idea what that might have been with my 21?
you can roll an Arcana check.
That'll be a 22.
Yes, fireball.
Someone fireballed?
Um, yep. And we kind of just sense at the peripheries of that this pulling this surge of what is not really surge, but a kind of like a stirring of wild magic as the spell is cast. We think Fortuna may be blowing off a little bit of steam.
You fireballed
Something.
Or she cast a spell and got the wild. No, then she just fireballed everybody.
No, we didn't feel the surge of wild magic. But then again,
We're a long shot.
yeah. All right, one more second. I'm going to turn my light on and close my blinds because
Yeah.
the light is shifting in here a little bit.
Yeah, that's a difference in color.
Yeah, but it's clearer now. I can also see my dice much more easily.
Did you close your curtains?
No, I haven't yet. Is that better?
With that light on, it's hard to tell, but that's fine.
Okay. All right, so let's continue then. Yes, that's just what we can tell is what happened, we think.
Okay.
So if you wanted to kick the hornet's nest, I think someone's already done that.
No, she's still way too comfortable for my point of view. We need to really give her some real reasons to question her future. Okay, first question I have.
Yes.
This took 20 minutes.
Less than 20 minutes. Let's say 18.
Yeah. Well, by the time we're done talking about this,
Yeah.
20 to 25 minutes has gone by, and my familiar has not reported that door being opened at all, correct?
Not once. Those guards might go and see what that was.
All right. I will roll. I'm gonna put my brain inside hers for a second.
Roll a perception check.
That will be a 19. Is there anyone in that room still?
You don't hear anything.
Okay. I suggest to you that this is probably the best opportunity we're going to get to set up those two glyphs.
All right.
Shall we go do that?
I want to do one thing before we do.
What's that?
Cast Mage Armor myself. I didn't have time beforehand with all that going on. So I'm going to once again flip through the books, and those pages of magic energy are going to hear to me to form Mage Armor.
All right.
Probably should have done that first. So Scrying would have got that back, but that's fine.
Yep.
Do you want to disguise ourselves? I know we're down here at the moment.
The sky itself, unfortunately, does not last.
Last an hour.
Yeah, it's going to take us
How
an hour.
long the spell's going to take?
Exactly. I don't want to do it here.
No.
I want to do it right about roughly in the middle here.
Yeah.
Side by side.
All right. I take out two of the 3 glass vials from my component pouch and hand one to you. This is the 200 gold piece value diamond destined incense that we need to cast the spell.
Yeah.
We also have one more vial, I say, if you want to cast a third one at some point.
It's the last one we'll be able to do, so let's make this one work.
All right. So we're just casting the 2 to start with.
Yes, just 2. Well, a lot.
All right. So we're going to start this off now. I assume you're familiar still keeping watch.
Yes.
All right.
Let's just do this.
Well, mark off the 3rd level spell as we begin casting it, and I'm going to mark off the components.
Yep.
Because whether or not we get through this spell or not, the spell slot's gone, as are the components.
Well, hopefully they will work.
All right. So we have an hour.
Yeah.
To cast these. That's how long the spell takes to cast, which is why we don't use it more often. Which is a shame because it's a great spell.
Oh yeah. So.
All right. When you cast the spell, you have to decide what you want to set it as. To cast it, you decide what you set it as.
Yeah. Explosive runes.
So when I said explosive runes, which element? Because Fortuna is a tiefling, I'll remind you, and tieflings usually have some form of damage resistance, typically fire, but some of them have different ones.
We don't know.
We do not know. So do you just want to go with fire?
No, fire is an easy one to avoid.
Yeah.
We should set them both to the same.
All right, I'm going to go for cold.
Fine.
Okay, so we're both setting it to cold.
Yep.
So there'll be a total of 10d8 cold damage when they go off.
Yes. And also I'm triggering it to not her. I'm triggering it to when a sorcerer comes by.
All right. Now that Bree is out of the way for the moment, I feel more comfortable with that. Yes.
Yeah, I'm more comfortable and less comfortable for the same reason.
All right. So we're saying it to trigger when a sorcerer steps on the glyph. Yep. We can refine it quite a bit.
No, when a sorcerer steps on the glyph, yes.
All right.
They both go off. They also trigger. If one triggers, the other triggers, just in case there's some weird thing.
Yeah, that's fine. We can set them to go off in tandem. Like I said, Glyph of Warding, you can refine the trigger as much as you want. Yeah. You can refine it down to a single individual. So when a sorcerer steps on it, they both go off.
Yep.
All right. That's fine. Now, here comes the tricky part.
Does it happen?
Well, a great deal can happen in an hour.
Yes.
So, there's no point in making this a skill check challenge. There's no skill check involved. We either cast the spell or we do not. It either works or it doesn't.
All depends on what they are doing up top side.
So, while we're working on this, I'm going to make some rolls in the background here to determine what they're going to be doing based on what I know their strategy would be at this point.
Yeah. Try not to get killed.
Yeah. All right, that's a low roll. All right, I'm going to need to roll a d10. No, wait. No, that doesn't. All right, yeah, that works. No. Yeah. All right. So I rolled on the first check.
Yep.
Yeah. So the we get so far we managed to get halfway through the spell. A full 30 minutes have gone by.
Yep.
And we're still working on the spell. No interruptions. Nothing from your familiar unless you want to have it you can't concentrate through its senses while you're concentrating on casting a spell.
Yep.
So your familiar's not alerted you yet, and we're halfway through.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna give 2 more checks then. All right, that's a high roll. Um, your familiar alerts you that she hears uh, a slightly louder conversation on the other side of the door.
Okay.
Door.
I whisper to you as
We're about 45 minutes into the spell at this point.
I whisper to you
Yeah.
as I'm frantically trying to finish this.
Yeah.
We may have company.
We might have company. Yeah, we're 15. We're 3/4 through the spell at this point.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Interesting. All right. Well, so the next 15 minutes I'm going to call really tense.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. So we are at the 55-minute mark at this point. The glyphs are almost finished being drawn. We've almost finished tracing them all. We're finishing up the final details on the spell. I'm gonna give it one more check because that was middling there. All right. Uh, Familiar reports that the conversation on the other side of the door has stopped,
Yep.
and she thinks she heard someone leave the room, and there's movement about now in there.
Okay.
All right. There is. I'm going to roll this last die to see how long we have. All right. Um. Unfortunately, we're still 2 minutes away from completing the spell.
Okay.
Do you want to stop?
Nope.
All right. Uh, this will be a contested roll then. Well, I think that covers it. 2 minutes go past. We finish the glyphs. They flare with arcane light
Okay.
as they are completed, and then they go back to being dim. We can still see the faint lines we traced on the ground.
Okay.
As soon as that's done, we hear the sound of the bolt on the trapdoor being pulled.
I unsummon my familiar.
All right. After which point the trapdoor opens.
Yep.
Now what?
Oh, sorry. The other thing is I unsummon my familiar and
Yes.
I extinguish Well, actually, the light cantrip
The
will be
light
gone.
cantrip will have died off at this point. The only light we have is the light coming through that doorway.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were working in the dark this entire time.
yeah. We'll just
You
not worry about it.
probably have like a round before someone comes through that trapdoor.
All right. We get up. I find your hand,
Yeah.
and we start walking. Get Alice out. You can lead us with her.
I'll summon her, and you want us to proceed. All right.
Head towards our last where the river is.
Okay, so we're heading away from the trapdoor. That's easy.
Yeah.
We are going to be stumbling around in the dark, and we're going to be moving quickly. So this will be a dexterity check at disadvantage.
At disadvantage, that will be a 6.
Two natural 20s.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
That's 5 now.
That yeah, if they both count, that's 5.
Yeah.
So I lead you, following Alice.
Yep.
Stumble a little bit,
Yep.
making a little bit of noise. We both hear a sound from behind us. What was that? So they heard something.
Well, if it's a sorcerer, we're going to know real soon.
Yeah. All right. So where are we going?
All right. Oop. I want to head into here for
All right.
starters.
Well, it doesn't take us too long to get there because it's not a terribly long passage, and we're moving quickly.
Yeah. So what I want to do is go around the corner,
Yeah.
find a pile of rubble to hide in, and see what they're actually going to do.
Easy enough.
Now, the thing is,
Mhm.
if in the next few seconds there isn't a massive explosion,
Yeah.
I'm going to whisper to you, do you want to take out these guards?
Maybe. Should we disguise ourselves at this point?
Um, if they're just guards, they should pass over the glyphs no problem,
Yep.
and they'll be extremely easy to kill.
Yep.
So, actually, my next part of this is going to be heading out anyway. All right, burn a first level spell slot. I am now Zorik.
All right. So we're disguising ourselves.
Because
And I'm going to use disguise self to make myself look like the Nazgul style character I've been masquerading as this entire time here.
you're the Witch King of Angmar.
Yeah. All right. So we look like a wannabe Dark Lord and the servant of a non-wannabe Dark Lord,
Yeah. Hiding under a pile of rubble.
cowering in the dark.
Yep.
And it is dark.
Yes.
Neither of us can see anything. Alice can.
Yep.
But that's about it.
Well,
We hear the sound of the trapdoor being closed.
and the light that it was giving goes away.
Yeah. There is still a faint bit of light. We suspect someone's coming down with a torch or a lantern. Bit of flickering firelight.
Can you have Alice sneak up to the corner here and have a look?
I can. That's a 6 natural 20.
This is gonna bite us in the butt soon, I tell you.
Oh, yes. If history's been any indication, it'll be in the second half.
Yeah.
So Alice is well hidden.
Oh yeah.
Now we roll stealth. Oh, sorry, perception. That's 12.
Yeah, it's fine.
So I'm going to
Perfect.
perceive through senses. Yep.
Yep.
All right. I said there's 2 people coming down this way.
And they are dressed in soldier livery.
They look like guards, yes.
Yeah. Well, they didn't set off the glyphs, so.
They both have bidents.
Yep.
They're both wearing the usual livery the soldier's wearing. One's carrying a lantern, and the other's
Yep.
carrying an object, which I can't make out in this light.
Is it on a silver chain or
No,
chain?
no, he's holding in his hand.
Okay.
They just passed over the glyphs, and the glyphs didn't activate.
All right.
Yeah, so I hear a voice coming down from the corridor now. So what are we supposed to do with this thing? She said just toss it on the floor. She said she gave it instructions.
Oh, that's interesting.
Hmm. So we're just to smash it. I don't know. That's what she said. So toss it on the ground. The rest it'll take care. The rest will take care of itself.
Hey, hold on a sec. How far are they away from us?
They're about halfway down the corridor at this point, so we're probably going to call that about 40 feet. Sorry, 40 feet in a straight line
All right.
away from us.
I whisper to you, we need to cast sleep on them.
Okay, you want to cast sleep on them. We need to see them for that. So we need to
Yep.
see a point in space to cast sleep.
Yep.
We can go around the
Yeah.
corner if you want and peek around the corner and try casting sleep down at them.
Yeah. We need to prevent this.
All right.
Head to the corner quickly.
All right. Well, we can do it quickly or we can do it quietly. Which one do you want to do?
I want to do it quickly.
Quickly. So we're not doing it quietly. So no stealth checks, but they're going to hear us then.
We can try to be reasonably like not, stomp. We can try to
That
be.
will be a stealth check at disadvantage if you want to do that.
That's fine. Oh, there's another busted natural 20.
Yeah, that's another one over here too.
Oh, you're on to 7 now?
And the roll that actually counts is 9.
Well, we do these as groups, so mine is 20.
Okay, so that splits it evens out around somewhere around 10 or 11.
20 and 9.
And again, there's 29 divided by 2. Oh,
It's a little higher than 10.
well, there's 2 of them. Let's see if they make their perception checks. And that's a 5 and a 4.
All right, that's good.
Just it's the running theme for the campaign.
Oh yeah,
It doesn't matter what you roll. As long as the bad guys roll like under 10,
Yep.
we're fine.
Okay, we're gonna be
You
doing
can
this
see
blind.
the light of their lantern coming down now.
Oh, that's true. We're not doing this blind. That's good.
Yeah. They are yep, they're coming down the corridor. They have about 30 feet before out in the open.
Yeah, they're gonna chuck that thing. For every level above first that I cast sleep.
You add 2d8 to the roll.
All right, so I'm gonna cast this at 3rd level.
All right. Do you want me to throw in a sleep spell as well, or do you want us to wait until you see how yours does?
Nope, simultaneous, please. These guys have to go down.
All right.
This is
I already
all.
cast a third. We'll both cast a 3rd level spell today.
Yeah.
All right.
This is something I fear came in that chest.
Quite possibly. I'm going to cast mine 2nd. So I'm adding 2d8 to this roll. 78.
That's
10, 14, 15, 21.
5. Wow, I wish we were roll fireballs like this.
Well, Fireball doesn't use d8s.
I know.
27.
43.
40. So that's a combined total of 70.
Yeah,
They don't work that way.
I know.
So you cast your sleep spell down.
Yeah.
You send a wave of wariness through the ether.
Weariness.
Weariness, that's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said wariness.
Isn't that, I guess maybe, was wariness on the same thing?
No.
Okay. And needless to say, between both those sleep spells, they both collapse to the ground.
Okay.
The lantern hits the ground.
Oh crap! This thing better not break.
It breaks. The lantern breaks.
I don't care
The
about the
bidons hit the
lantern.
ground, and we hear something else that sounds a little bit like clay or something earthenware hitting the ground and not broken.
Run up.
Yeah. They're snoring quite loudly. By the way, the lantern is broken. The flames have died out, so there's no light anymore.
Gaslight.
Gaslight.
Run up.
Yeah.
Pick up that thing.
All right. Make an investigation check.
Oh, all right. Sorry. Yeah. Investigation will be 26.
Okay. You find their bidents. You find some keys, and you find a vaguely familiar looking clay urn with the sealed top that has runes on it. We
Ah,
saw one of these very briefly a couple of days ago when we were fighting the Strigoi in its lair before that black pudding showed up.
black pudding came out of that thing.
Yep. It is undamaged, and a clay
Whew.
uh, urn striking stone surfaces would normally break. So
Yeah.
it is undamaged.
Well, it had someone holding it, so yeah.
Yes, and you imagine like a lot of magical devices, it needs a command word to activate.
Yep. I put it in my bag of holding.
All right. So
Now we have two individuals.
unconscious guards who are asleep for a minute.
All right, here's my train of thought here.
Mhm.
Take the clay jar and leave. They wake up, might make up a story based on what happened,
Yeah.
because they're certainly not going to tell everyone that they fell asleep. Or they're going to raise some kind of alarm. If they raise some kind of alarm, they're going to obviously send a sorcerer down to have a look at this. And it sets off the two glyphs. Do you have a preference?
Um, no, not really. No.
All right. My preference is to leave them alive.
All right, we can do that.
Let's get out of here.
All right.
Oh, that's interesting. They're going to be asleep for a minute.
Yes,
We have two directions we go to. Now
we can.
we could go
We can
in.
easily make it to the end of this corridor and up to the trap door before they wake up. Well, we can get to the end of the corridor. We can try opening the trap door before they wake up.
Yeah, well, obviously the door's got to be open because otherwise they can't get out of here.
Yeah,
We could lock the door.
we could.
Um, this is not what I want to do.
What do you want to do? I'm being merciful at the moment and saying the time is paused while you think this out.
Yeah.
All
They're
right.
given instructions to do something, so I think we have to kill them.
Okay. How are you going to do that?
Actually, no, never mind. I don't want to kill. I don't believe in killing defenseless people. It's just wrong.
Okay.
Um,
So we're leaving them alive.
leave them alive. Let's get out of here.
Which way are we going?
Back where we came.
Okay. So we get back in the water.
Yep.
Now we have to make strength checks to swim out of here.
Yeah.
We're definitely choosing the harder path here. Well, maybe
Yeah.
not. We don't know what defenses are in there now.
Yeah.
Oh, you can write down you have one of those urns.
Yes. Black pudding urn.
You don't. Well, you don't know what's in it.
I'm gonna call that for now
Yeah.
until I identify it.
Yeah.
9 for my strength check.
Well, it beats my 5. So
We can't fight the current that time.
no, not. But we're not making any progress. We're not being pushed back.
All right, keep at her. It's only 6 seconds.
Well, that's heading
Oh,
the wrong way.
hmm?
That's heading the wrong way.
Yeah, same here.
3.
5. Getting tired already.
Yep. Okay, 12 this time.
All right, I can't seem to roll above 9 here.
So what did you roll this time?
9.
All right, so you rolled a 9, I rolled a 12. So we're making a little bit of progress now.
I think we need to roll a Constitution check here at this point.
Sure.
Good. We are tiring.
Well, I rolled a 7.
With your +5?
Yes. I rolled a 2.
Well, I rolled an 8 +4. 12. I think I'm okay. I think you're getting tired.
Yes.
All right. This isn't working.
No, it isn't.
Let's go to the water. Unfortunately, it requires a strength check.
Oh, now I roll well.
Yeah, same here.
So we're both a little tired, not exhausted, but that was strenuous.
That's some exercise that
We'll
we're.
definitely need to roll checks to fight exhaustion if we go longer than 8 hours today. There's no doubt now.
All right. We have another problem.
We have another problem. The sleep spells are about half done, and we're still here.
I know. All right. We have two choices at this point, which is kill them.
Yep.
Don't like to do,
Or go the other way.
or we use magic to get out of here.
Yep. We could dimension door. Do you want me to dimension door us out of here?
So the problem is yeah, just go ahead and do it.
All right. I put my hand on your shoulder. I open that whirlpool in space for dimension door, and we step through. And we step out underwater as I have dimension door us outside into the river.
All right. The stinky river.
It's not so bad now. But yes.
All right, let's go ashore.
All right.
Oop, wrong way.
Wrong way.
Okay.
All right. So we're in the river now.
Yeah.
And we spent 5 spells on that, by the way. I did at least.
Well, I did 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is spell intensive.
Yes, we haven't. We've done nothing.
We've done one thing. I think it's
Yeah.
a very important thing because
Mhm.
I don't know what instructions that black pudding or whatever is in there was given,
Yes.
but I can't imagine it being friendly.
Yes. The last time we encountered one of these urns, it magically contained a creature which seemed to be bound to serve the Strigoi.
Yeah.
So this may be some sort of magically summoned guardian for all we know. We don't know what exactly it does. Unless you want to take the time to identify it.
My guess for this would not be a guardian so much as possibly a spy,
Also possible.
because there's really no reason to shove something down in here. Because they were letting it loose and said it has instructions.
Yes.
So we'll identify it at some point.
All right, but not now.
No, we're in the middle of a river.
All right. What now? I say. Ask.
Well,
Manage that.
I still want to go through with my plan. We need to get that gas under control.
All right. So we want to go looking for that thing now?
Well, we should swim to where the sewer, that sewer grate that we know where you get into the sewers.
Yep. I'm not sure I like the directions it's heading.
And then you burn up another spell slot.
I just want to make it clear. I have 2 4th level spell slots left. And locate creature is 4th level. So I can only cast locate creature twice. And you want to locate the Ghast and the Revenant today.
I think I know where the Revenant is. So let's just go with that for the moment. This is obviously not proceeding as I'd hoped,
Mhm.
but we did find out an awful lot of information, which is unfortunate, but
No,
it,
it's fortunate.
it always falls under your purview.
Yes.
When we get the stuff all blown up.
All right. So we snipped the sewer grates. The bars have been torn and stretched almost to the point that they're breaking off at this point. We saw this thing force its way in here last time.
Yep. Question: is the smell getting worse?
Perception check. 22.
And mine's a 17.
Yes, it's getting worse. Also, it's a sewer.
You know what I meant.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the usual smell.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cast locate creature for that.
We should probably get into the sewer first and out of the water.
Oh, I thought we did that.
No.
Oh, all right. Into the sewers we go.
All right. So we climb into the sewers,
Yep.
which is already unpleasant.
Yeah. Going
Hey,
into
you
a
want me
sewer where the vast majority of the population of Vyrn's Run is very nervous and probably very incontinent at this point.
Oh, yes, this is not one of the more glamorous aspects of our job.
No.
So I take out the forked twig, which I've wrapped the fur of a bloodhound around for the component for the spell, and I spin it in the field of blue rippling energy as I cast locate creature, looking for some sort of aquatic ghast I've seen twice.
Yeah, it still works. Nice thing about magic.
Yes, it does. All right, is this thing within the radius of the spell? And it points ahead at the moment.
I get the feeling that it was going to do that because that is where that large chamber was, where you had your encounter with the basilisk.
Yes, our encounter. We were both there.
Yes, but it was your encounter.
Anyway, we
So,
also know that these sewers run through the underground area of this city. So it's not necessarily in that same chamber.
true enough. Let's follow the twig.
All right. So this spell
We,
lasts an hour for as long as I concentrate on it.
we need light. So I
We
have
both light up our light cantrips.
a light counter going. And I'm going to have, just because I think we're going to need advanced warning on this, I'm going to have my familiar, well, basically hopping at least 30 feet ahead of us.
Yeah. Alice does not want to be summoned here.
Ah, get her out.
No, your familiar is already up, so that's fine.
Yeah. Well, crows have been known to eat, ravens have known to be eat carrion, so
Yeah.
it doesn't bother her as much as it would a cat, which has sensitivity to smell.
Yes. All right. So, following my locate creature spell,
Yep.
we take quite a few turns and we start to reach an area of the sewers which looks relatively familiar to us.
Are you getting nervous?
No, it's dead. We have something else to worry about this time,
Yeah.
which, as far as I know, can't petrify us.
We can possibly do something.
Yes, but not petrify as far as we know.
No. As far as we know, it can't turn you to stone.
However, we do see some statues, basically. Well, we know they're not statues.
The people that had issues last time there was a basilisk here.
Yes. Some of these are not intact. Actually, most of them are not.
Yeah, I assume that it's not exactly careful when it heads through things.
No, also, basilisks are known to literally bite sections off petrified statues because, as you know, their stomach acid has a quality that reverses petrification.
Yep. Yeah, I still have 2 of those potions.
Yeah. At which point, we also are hit with a really awful stench.
Yeah.
And
Saving throw level?
yep,
Constitution?
yep.
24.
That succeeds, and I'm immune because of my parry act.
Yeah, yeah. Smell is not a thing. Well, you smell it, but it doesn't poison you.
Also, after a few moments, you're able to grow accustomed to the stench, basically, a little bit.
Hmm.
You don't. It doesn't bother you as much now.
Yeah, that's something I want to get accustomed to. But anyway,
All right.
let's hurry.
But from our light sources, we hear, though, we think we've possibly disturbed something in here, and there's movement up ahead.
My Raven has a 30-foot advantage on us.
Yep.
Does it see anything?
We see it sees a large creature.
With 6 legs?
Yes. And a really big mouth and kind of lamp-like eyes that would be designed to reflect light.
All right, let's roll some initiative.
Yes. Also roll for initiative for your familiar because it's in this combat at the moment. Wow. Those are both awful. What did you roll?
I have a 6.
Okay. What about your familiar?
8.
Okay, so against all odds,
You're going first?
your familiar is up first.
Oh, really? What do
Yes.
you have?
I have a 4.
And what about our stinky friend?
It is a 7.
Uh-oh. My Raven is going to get out of there.
Yeah, I don't know how many points the Raven has.
1. Doesn't matter. Gets hit by anything, it's dead.
You have 97?
87.
Yeah. Good grief, so close. And I have 86.
Yep. More than both of us.
Alright. I do technically still have to look at creature up, but that's probably going to get cancelled when I get a chance.
Yeah.
So, top of the round, we have your familiar.
Telling him to get out of there.
Alright, so he's going to take weak and fly past us, I assume.
Yes. I can't unsummon him yet, her yet.
No, not until your turn.
Yep. That's an action or a bonus action to do?
It's an action.
Then it won't be happening then.
Alright, we come to the ghast-like thing.
Yep.
So... it moves up towards us because it doesn't have any ranged attacks.
No.
However, it's pretty big and it's got some good reach. I suspect it can get within melee of us.
It was the... How far from my Raven was it?
Probably would have been about 30 feet away.
So it has to move 60 feet.
Yep. Well, it moves up. It has to use its action dash, but this thing seems to move quicker than us, possibly because of its extra limbs.
Yeah.
It has no issues walking on all 6 of its limbs either.
No.
It gets right up to us.
Yep. Pleasant as that is.
It really stinks now.
Yep.
Your turn.
I cast a 4th level spell.
Oh, right. I forgot about this.
I want to polymorph it into a cute little box turtle.
Yes, thing you always polymorph things into.
Slow, harmless.
Yep. So this is a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC.
Yep.
Which is 16, I believe.
Yeah, it's up one then.
Okay, this thing has no wisdom saving throw modifier, does it?
I don't remember precisely.
No, it doesn't. I have its stats written down, don't worry.
Does it have a
Okay,
medium
so
at
it
least?
has to roll a 16 or higher. That's a natural one.
First stage of my plan works.
All right. So you were concentrating on polymorph.
Yep.
And for the first time in quite some time, you polymorph something else into something.
It's usually me, but this works better, I think.
And this thing's a turtle.
Oh, it's a tortoise.
Okay, box tortoise, whatever.
Cute little dwarf variety.
Alright, I do not have the stats for turtles. I'm gonna have to look those up.
I don't know. It only has a very small number of hit points. Like one, maybe.
Yeah, so it's got 2 hit points according to this, and an armor class of 17!
Good old shell.
Yep. Alright, so I'm gonna go with that.
Alright, I pick it up.
Which is easy, because it's tiny.
Yep.
So, for the next hour, this thing is a turtle.
Yes.
So, now what?
Let's get into the sewers.
Well, we didn't say you were leaving a trail or anything to lead us back out of here.
All we need to do is find a sewer grate.
Alright. Why don't you roll a survival check with my assistant to see how long it'll take?
That'll be a 21.
Alright. That's good enough. It doesn't take us too long, and since this has all gone off relatively well, I think you deserve inspiration, or do you already have it?
I already have it.
Unfortunate.
Gotta use that thing.
Yep.
Alright.
We find a sewer grate.
Yep. We need to get out of here.
Yep. Doesn't take us too long to find it.
Alright. I'm concentrating on a spell.
Yes.
So I can't look through my familiar's eyes, which is not here anymore. I've unsummoned it because I don't want to make that mistake. Can you have Alice pop out on the other side of this thing?
She's perfectly fine being summoned on the other side of this sewer grate.
Okay. And make sure there's nobody watching when we do this.
All right. Summon her. She does not report anything.
Okay. Out we go.
Yeah. I will point out that we're going out disguised as public enemies number 1 and 2.
Yep. Only public enemies number 1 and 2 to the court.
Yes.
And whatever possible backstabbing, useless citizen.
Anyway, the court's the one I'm concerned about.
Yeah. Okay. And when we get up on top, where on this map are we?
All right.
The sewer grate is, if I remember correctly, roughly here.
That's one of the ones we know of.
Yeah. And then, if I remember correctly, the lair was somewhere around here.
All right. We are on, unfortunately, one of the main roads. The road leading north. Do you see that little scorch mark in front of that looks like a coliseum?
That one?
That's where we are.
All right.
We don't see any guards patrolling at the moment.
Duck into the trees.
Yep.
And I want to head across to here and then head this way, keeping to the trees as much as possible. There's still a fair number, though.
Yeah.
This is the building that had the prison in it. I want to head there.
All right. Roll a stealth check, please. I will do the same. And I will roll to see if anyone's paying attention.
That's a terrible,
Wow.
terrible number.
Same number.
I'll burn a point of luck.
I have modifiers.
Oh, what a waste.
What are you wasting?
You don't even know where I am.
Natural 20?
Natural 20.
All right. I have a total of 20.
All right. We can be relatively certain of being unobserved.
Yes.
All right. Get to the prison. Is there anybody guarding it?
No.
Yeah, I don't think they have the forces at the moment to guard much of anything.
I will say we are really, really close to the temple.
Very, very close.
Yes. We don't see any obvious people at the moment. We do make it a perception check, by the way.
13.
All right. I rolled a 17. We both look over. The ground near the fountain,
Has been scorched.
it's been scorched. It looks like the fountain's been damaged a little bit.
That was the so-called blowing off some steam spell.
Literally, I suspect there was probably some literal steam involved.
Yeah,
Hopefully, no one was standing next to it when she did that.
there were people out. Do I see any bodies?
No, but there would have been ample time to clear those away if there were.
Yeah, true enough. Okay, this is the plan. You
All
stand guard, and I'm gonna go down
right.
because we know where the jail cells are. Because
Yes.
we've had several people incarcerated before.
I'm gonna stay hidden in the trees.
Yep,
You're gonna go in the door.
yep.
I'll say it probably takes about 15 minutes to get here.
Okay,
So a quarter of your spell's gone.
yep. That's fine. Is the ghast? Oh, sorry. Is the revenant home?
Well, you go to the door.
Yep.
It's locked.
That's probably not to be unexpected.
No,
I will attempt to pick the lock.
one-handed because you were holding the turtle in the other
Um,
hand.
I'll just shove the stupid thing in a bag and sling it over something.
All right, fine.
I don't really care as long as it doesn't get hurt. Uh, 13.
Okay. You hear a click.
I want to check for traps or any kind of tripwires or alarms on this thing.
It feels like you should have done that first, but okay.
Ah, I just
Investigation
thought of
check.
it now. That will be an investigation check of 19. No, 19.
19. All right. That is more than enough. You do indeed see a tripwire on the inside of the door as you are looking through it with your lockpick still in the lock.
I will attempt to disarm this tripwire.
All right.
That's
Dexterity check.
burn a point of luck.
That's 2 gone so far.
Yeah, I know. That doesn't bode well for the rest of this day, I tell you. And that's even worse. Oh, I'm not burning my last point of luck. 5.
All right. You attempt to remove the tripwire and accidentally snip it. In doing so,
Yeah,
you hear a as presumably the whatever the tripwire was attached to is now drawing it in.
yeah.
And nothing seems to happen. Nothing obvious, anyway.
Don't hear any alarms.
Nope.
You do set silent alarms, but I don't know if any of the sorcerers have alarm.
You do not know.
I do not know. I will join you in the trees for a few moments. See if anything happens.
Okay. Roll a perception check with my assistance.
That'll be a 15.
All right. We wait a couple of minutes. Nothing seems to happen.
All right, go back to the door. Listen
Okay.
at the door. And effectively listen at the door.
All right. The door is still open. It's ajar at this point, by the way, because you left it as it was.
Open the door sufficiently that I can sneak through without going through.
You don't want to go through, but you open it up to.
Open it up, see what's inside, make sure, you know,
It's dark in there.
it should be enough light from the,
Yeah, it is.
so I can see at least the first little bit. Anything there?
Uh, nope. You remember the cells are on down the floor,
Downstairs, yeah.
at least the ones that we are familiar with.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
I will do one more investigation check to see if there's anything obvious here.
Hmm.
That will be a dirty 20.
All right. You look around, search. You don't see any more traps. You notice the tripwire was running alongside the door and goes up. This is the you can see like the area it was drawn along goes up.
But nothing came of it.
Nothing obvious.
Nothing obvious. All right. Obviously, someone had set up something at some point they can't man anymore. I don't know. Can't tell. Signal to you that I'm heading down.
All right. So you want me to stay out here still?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Keep an eye out. Keep an eye out also for what might come as far as, someone being alerted by that alarm.
Yeah. All right. So 20 minutes have gone by on polymorph.
Yep.
And a half hour has gone by on disguise self.
Okay. Down to the cells I go.
All right. So you go down stealthily.
Yeah, might as well.
All right.
Oh, burning another natural 20.
Okay. You're very stealthy.
I think I'm catching up to you now.
So you go down to the cell.
Yep.
Down here it is dark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Light cantrip.
You cast a light cantrip.
Yep.
All right. You see the familiar 3 cells,
Yep.
one of which is occupied.
I recognize the revenant.
Well, no, you do not.
That's true. I don't, because I'm not sure what body it jumped into.
Well,
I see something that
you see
right.
an animate corpse in one of the cells.
Yep.
Who is dressed in basically the clerical robes that occupied that temple did. War, you remember? Except this one's a woman, clearly one of the priestesses who worked in that temple. But you suspect it's still the same revenant inside it, from what you know of it.
Yeah.
It observes you approaching.
Yep.
It's very odd watching an undead creature watch you approach, because there's an intelligence in this creature's eyes that you haven't seen in most undead, and there's also a lack of hostility in this creature's eyes, which is even stranger to us.
Yep.
In our experience.
I say to the revenant.
He also has absolutely no idea who Zorik is, so.
Yeah.
I will say, however, you are disguised as a member of the court, and Zorik did habitually wear the robes
Yep.
of the Court of Seven, so recognizes that you are wearing that, but doesn't recognize you as one of its quarry, obviously.
Yep. I introduce myself. I say, I know you're a revenant who has issues with the court.
Mm-hmm.
I am Zorik, and I also have issues with the court. I have a plan I would like to propose to you. Are you willing to listen?
It nods.
I say, okay. I hold up the torches.
Now here comes the part where it's going to get weird.
This is a really nasty, ghast-like creature who just basically is going to tear apart and eat anything it does as soon as it's no longer a tortoise. I would like to give you this in exchange. I'll let you for letting you free to go and pursue those miserable miscreants that have caused this undead state for you. All I want from you in return is when you attack them, you throw this tortoise into the mix. And it will help you because it will eat anything it comes across.
Now you can say you've never seen an undead creature look at you in complete disbelief. Roll your persuasion check. Roll
Oh,
high.
come on, give me a good number after all those wasted 20s.
I don't have to roll for that in those
12.
-1, or is that with the -1?
Oh, crap. Thought I had a positive on that.
No, this is persuasion. This is
Oh,
charisma.
that's right. That's my lovely charisma we're talking about. 9.
9.
Don't I get advantage because I'm letting him out? Or out, it out?
It rolled a natural 1 on believing you. I was this close to giving you disadvantage on the roll. It doesn't seem to really understand what you're saying. It doesn't seem convinced. At this point, you also make a perception check.
I'm apparently very engrossed in this conversation. I rolled a 2 plus 2.
Okay. Yep. It's striking me a little odd that it's silent, that's all. It doesn't seem to be adding anything to this conversation so far. Revenant, as far as you know, can talk.
Ah, crap. I am going to do an investigation check. I want to disbelieve an illusion.
Roll.
Natural 20 again. Come on. Could you at least be where you should be?
Okay.
I think I passed you now.
So I've got good news for you. Not an illusion.
All right.
However, with that roll, you can see it's hard. It was hard to make out, but you have an actual 20. There's been damage done to it in very specific areas.
No, so can't talk anymore.
Like it's got injuries like right here in its throat, and its mouth is closed. But you suspect that there's probably been surgical attempts by the court when they put this corpse here to make sure it couldn't speak, so it couldn't cast any spells.
All right. I got the picture now.
All right. And there's one more thing
Yep.
I need to do here. That will hit. I don't think I need to roll damage for this. Oh, why? Actually, no, I do have to roll damage for this. It could be important for what happens next. Right. All right. The first thing you notice is a rush of air and a claw made of almost pure shadow and darkness come down and claw the turtle in your hand.
There's a 17 armor class.
Well, that was a 23 to hit.
Ah, crap. Another one of their little toys.
So 2 of the damage gets absorbed by that. It's no longer a turtle. Good news, your polymorph spell is no longer being concentrated on.
Yep. Great.
And the 12 remaining damage from that, unless this thing is immune. I don't think it is. I don't think it's immune to this type of damage, but I'll just check. No, it's not. That carries over.
Yeah.
And you now have that really big ghast in the room with you and the Revenant and whatever else is in this room. And this is a good time for us to take our break.
Great. That went bad.